Hey, welcome back to the table. So, when I recorded the first video with my son, I said this game wasn't for solitaire, blah, blah, blah. And then I found out there's an actual solitaire mode to this game. I was like, oh, well, Jeff always gets something wrong, doesn't he? So I'm going to start and let's try out the solitaire mode and see what it's like, right? So I've never done this before. So I'm going to do expert mode again. And it gives me a code, I guess, so you could play against me. So there you go, Z4, Z3. Type in that code. See if you do better than I do. How about that? So just pause this video, go off, play your own game, come back with your score and see how well you do. So what am I? Summer. We're going to do genius, 0 facts. And that's our research that's going to be available to us. I don't usually pay much attention to it right now. And yes, we get to go. So I think I'm supposed to go first. So I'm going to rearrange this like so. And okay, so what does it do with the bot? Well, here's how it works. The bot's going to take its turn normally. And then we do submit theory when we get to the submit theory section of the game. And what the bot's going to do, I should have taken this lid off first, is the bot is the blue player, okay? But when he submits theories, we're just going to take these and put them face down. It doesn't even matter what they say. Like, you're supposed to actually randomize them, and who cares what it is. But we put these face down, and then as they move forward and get to the end and we do the reveal, we'll then use the blue one. And so what the game basically is trying to do is you use a third color to just signify that the bot placed a theory. And the rule book says very clearly that the bot always, if they place a theory, they're 100% certain of what it is. So they're always going to get it right. So there's no, like when you're playing against a human player, there's a chance they're guessing. That's not the case with the bot, okay? So if a bot's doing it, they know for sure that that's what it is. And so when it does get there and you do the final reveal, they're going to get it right. So then you'll grab the right blue one and replace it. The only other thing from a rules perspective that I learned that we were sort of doing wrong was, let's say this was my guess and then Josh was also guessing the same thing. We would do this. We would push mine forward and put his behind. And you're technically supposed to do that. And then move them forward together. And the one on bottom is, of course, the first theory. It does change the game a little because some information probably gets revealed quicker than it would. It's not a big deal. But I did want to state that for clarity. So I'm going to go ahead and start. And I always like to do research first because it only costs one time and it gives us some nice information. And I did watch a little bit of my first video, and I noticed that I didn't zoom in enough on the screen, and I didn't spend enough time for people to read what was on there. So this is what we have. I don't want to read them all to you, but for example, comets and asteroids are my thing. Those are what I like to go after first. And there happens to be one that's both of them together. So I'm going to press A here. Comets and asteroids. And it says there's no comet within 2 sectors of an asteroid. And because Josh isn't playing, I can talk more. And so I think this actually might be a better game to show the game. But I'm going to go ahead and write this here. So research A, no comet within 2 of asteroid. All right, so we don't know where the comets are, but oh, I got this on the standard mode side. Let's switch this over. No comet within 2 of asteroid. Okay, and I apologize for my writing there. But so no comet within 2 of asteroid. The comets, just a reminder, are in these sectors. And I like to go after those in the asteroids first. Those tend to be the ones I like to focus on. All right, so my action causes me to move up 1 time. All right, so now we got to do the bot turn. So I'm going to click on bot turn. And it's saying bot is currently located sector 1 on the time track. That is true. We're going to do turn 1 reveal. So he's going to survey for asteroids 6 through 9. And I'm going to go ahead and write that down. So he's doing a survey for asteroids 6 through 9. So it's a very narrow targeted search. And he's moving up 3 on the time track. 1, 2, 3. And he's now on sector 4. So it's our turn. And this is going to move up. All right. I'm very tempted to learn the same thing he learned. I don't know how productive that is, because that would make him place his theories before mine. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to do a Josh tactic. He likes to target in an early game, because then you get an early theory out on the board. And so I'm going to target, you can only target visible sky, and I want to target 7, which has a comet in it, because it increases the chances I'm not going to get an empty sector. So I'm going to, because empty sectors stink to get when you spend 4 points on a target. So I'm going to target, and we're going to target sector, I said it was 7, right? Yes, 7. So right there is an asteroid in sector 7. That is extremely interesting. So we sort of nailed something here. We got an asteroid in 7. And remember, he did an asteroid check from 6 to 9. So he knows he did 6, 7, 8, and 9. And I found an asteroid in 7. So it's either in 7 and 6 or 7 and 8. So for sure, he got at least 2 asteroids in his search. And we also know that there's no comet, no dwarf gas, like everything else is eliminated. So we know that that particular sector is an asteroid. And we also know there's no comets within 2 of an asteroid, right? So if there's an asteroid here, that means that number 5 is also not a comet. So that's ruled out immediately. And then if there's an asteroid here, that's no effect. If the asteroid here, no effect. So none of these other comets are affected by it. But I know at least one of those is an asteroid. He knows 2 are. Let's see if he places anything. And so we move up 4 times, though. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're up to 6. And we do get to 3 here, which is going to be place theory. So let's see what the bot does. So he's going to submit a theory. And he's located in sector 4 on the time track, and he answers yes. He does not submit a theory because he doesn't know. The AI said that he will not place unless he knows for sure. So he did 6 through 9, and he knows that there's asteroids there, but he doesn't know which 2. Neither do we. Now, I get to place a theory, and we know for sure 7 is an asteroid, so I'm going to for sure place one on 7. And so now the balls part becomes, do we want to take a guess at 6 or 8? I mean, it's a 50-50 shot, right? If I'm wrong, all I do is lose a time. And if I am wrong, I'm going to know which one is the right one, just from being wrong. However, I won't get the points for it. So I'm actually going to just do the one I know and then just leave it be. And if you're playing against another human, this is actually the smarter move, because when you place 2 down, people always think that you're doing comets, or I'm sorry, asteroids, because they always come in pairs, right? So, but when you place just 1 down, you really throw them off, right? Oh, that could be a comet, or oh, that could be a dwarf planet. You know, there's so many other things it could be when you're not putting down pairs right next to each other. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it at that, and let's see what Mr. Bot here is going to do. So he's asking, is it still in sector 4? Yep, turn 2. The bot targets sector 6. Oh my gosh, he just flat out did a target. All right, so target 6. Okay, and I used one of my targets already, so I'll put that out. And he moves up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And he's on sector 8. So the wheel spins around, and so we're on 6. So there's a couple tricks I can do. The first one is, let's say the asteroid's in 6. I can target just like he did, but I'm going to do something different. I'm going to just scan 7 all the way through to 14. And if I get 2 as my answer, then I know it's at 8. If I get 1 as my answer, then I know it's at 6. If I get 3 as my answer, then I know the other 2 asteroids are out here. There is a very tiny possibility that if I get a 2, the other one was actually at 6, and then sector 14 on the edge here is the beginning of the other asteroid. There is that small possibility, but I'm going to go with the probability that that's not going to be the case. Okay? So I'm going to do the survey. The reason I'm doing the survey this way, I could just survey like 7 through 9, for example, but that'll cost me like 3 time, which is a lot of time. And so I want to get my answer, but I also want to get a bigger answer, right? And use less time. So I'm going to survey for an asteroid, and I'm going to start on sector 7. I'm not going to include 6. And then I'm going to end on 14, just because it'll only cost me 2 time. Now I could dial that back 2 notches and end at 12, but I'm going to just do 14, and I'm going to survey it. It's only going to cost me 2 time. And see, there's only 1 asteroid in sectors 7 through 14. All right, and I advanced 2. Now the unfortunate part is, guess who's going to get to put his theory down first? I don't think there was any way I could have avoided that unless I was going to take a ballsy guess. But since there, and I don't know if you got to read it, but it said there was only 1. And we knew there's 1 here. So that means the other one has to be at 6. So let's look at our thing. We already know there's an asteroid here at 6. And we got at least 2 sectors figured out already. And he's going to know that too. And so, unfortunately, he gets to place his tiles down before us. So he's going to place on 7 and 6. And he'll get the 6 one first. But that's okay. We're going to get credit for the 6. So this is going to move forward. And now we're going to do bot's turn. So they're going to submit their theory. And reveal. Oh my gosh, the bot does not submit a theory. Why would the bot not submit a theory? Unless it's trying to be sneaky, but we're going to go ahead and submit our theory on 6. And then actually, this would be moved down like so. I don't know what the bot was smoking. He did 6 through 9. He got 2 asteroids. I targeted 7. I got an asteroid. He then targeted 6. I targeted 7 through 14. I only got 1 asteroid, which is the one that was at 7. That's very odd. All right, and then I want to write this down. I did, so there's 1 asteroid, 7 through 14. I should have wrote that down a long time ago. And in fact, we know that 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14 are not asteroids. So we actually got a mountain of information with the early couple turns that we did. We know for sure those are both asteroids, and the bot does too. I think he was trying to be too sneaky for his own good, or maybe from a difficulty level perspective, they play tested it and said he can't be that good, or otherwise people would get frustrated. But there's no way the bot doesn't know what the actions the bot did. Just no way. They absolutely know. Given the facts, they should have known that there was 2 asteroids there. So, okay. Well, next thing that's going to happen is we're going to do the Planet X conference. So I'm going to do that. And so what this is Planet X and asteroids. Speaking of asteroids. And, okay. So I know it's along the top there. Planet X is not within 2 sectors of an asteroid. Okay, I like those kind of clues. And just let me write it down here real quick. So X is not within 2 of asteroids. So, given the fact that we know that this is an asteroid, then we know that 5 and 4 are not planet X, right? And we also know that 8 and 9 are not planet X. So that just eliminated 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 6 sectors of the galaxy we know aren't planet X. And we've only taken 3 turns. So, yeah, I do decent at this game. Let's just put it that way. But that's, anybody could have figured that out. All right, so now it is their turn first. So I'm going to take bot turn. They're located in, They're located in Sector 8. They're just asking me. The bot surveys for asteroids 8 through 14. And then advance it 2. So we're going to advance him 2 on the time track. I know I got wobbly there, but I'm just going to... So they surveyed for asteroids 8 through 14. Still don't understand why they don't already know, but they did. And so that's done. Okay, and now it's our turn. And we're going to do a research. Research is cheap, and it's always very valuable. So I did comets and asteroids. And when they're 2 of them bunched together, by the way, I didn't talk about this much in the last game. As you can tell, it's always, the clue is always the relationship between them. So for example, if I do asteroids and dwarf planets, then I'll see like a relationship between those. And sometimes the clues that have been very popular are, they're directly opposite. Or like this one, there's nothing between, there's no comet within 2. Which I actually found that one to be pretty helpful. Since we know where asteroids are, we should probably ride the asteroid train, right? So I'm going to do asteroids and dwarf planets, F. So let's try that. At least one asteroid is adjacent to a dwarf planet. Now that is quite helpful. So one asteroid adjacent to dwarf. Okay, so what do we got here? Well, we know we have 2 asteroids here, right? This one could be a dwarf, and this one could be a dwarf, and at the moment, that is a possibility, a very big possibility. So that's a really good clue. So maybe we could start scanning for some dwarf planets. But in the meantime, we did move 1. So unfortunately, if you're looking at the 2 asteroids here, this is where the dwarf planet would be, and the time just moved where we're no longer visible. That's no longer in the visible sky for us. So we're going to have to wait until we come back around to do some scanning there. I know that 9 through 14 is not an asteroid, so there's a big chunk of something here, and I'm willing to bet that the dwarf planet is here. And so this is some of the advanced big brain stuff that goes on in my mind that I don't get to explain when Josh is in front of me. But the reason I'm saying that is since this is a big stretch of no asteroids, it's also there's a possibility of comets here. But there's the dwarf planets are 4 in a band of 6. So that's one of the key rules. So I'm thinking the dwarf planet's on this side of the asteroid because there's a band of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 that has no asteroids. So something's got to fill that up, right? It's either a bunch of empty sectors. I mean, even if you had 2 comets in there, there's still plenty of room for 4 dwarf planets. Because like I said, those 4 are going to be filling up 6 spaces. So that means there's only going to be 2 things that are intermixed in between those dwarf planets, okay? So I tend to believe that whenever there's an empty giant zone like this, that those are dwarf planets. And how am I going to know? Well, I'm going to confirm it right now. I'm going to do a sector search from 9 to maybe 14, right? And we're going to search for dwarf planets. And we should get 3, because this would be the 4th one right here. So let's see what we come up with. Okay, so I'm going to do a survey for dwarf planets. And I want it to only cost me 2 time. So I need to have 7. So I'm going to start at 9 because that's the lowest I can go. And let's see, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 is 5 times. That puts me to 3. Yeah, I want to make sure that my theory is actually right. So I'm going to go, since it's going to cost me 3 times, I can just do 4 sectors, right? So 9, 10, 11, 12. So I'm going to go up to 12. And I should get I should either get 3 dwarf planets or 2. Because in a band of 6, I'll explain it in a second, but I should get 2 or 3 if my theory's right. So that's going to cost me 3 times. There's no dwarf planets. So see, my theory was 100% wrong. But what that does is that's still extremely helpful information. So we move 1, 2, 3. So from 9 through 12, there's no dwarf planets. And that means we do have a very big empty sector here. So 9, 10, 11, and 12 are no dwarf planets. Now, there's a real good possibility that 8 is also no dwarf planet, even though there's a dwarf planet next to asteroids. Now, here's the thing. There's another set of asteroids out here, so that clue could have been applying to the other ones. So we may be looking at the wrong set. But let's say the dwarf planet's here. Well, then you got a band of 6 going this way. It easily fits within that band as well, right? My theory was that we were checking this side, right? And by doing what we just did, we confirmed almost to a guarantee that this is also not a dwarf planet. I'm not going to cross it out yet because there is a possibility we actually have a dwarf planet here and another one there. And then it's literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? A band of 6 could still fit where you have dwarf planets on both sides of this asteroid belt. But given what we did, that was still extremely valuable because now look at this. There's a real high probability that there's a comet here because otherwise we have 4 empty sectors all in a row or a gas cloud in an empty sector. I mean, so anyways, this is definitely a muddy area and we already know that there's no planet X here or here. So yeah, this is shaping up to be interesting. I have a feeling that there's a comet here because there's got to be something. And there's only 6 empty sectors in this game. 5 of them are truly empty. 1 of them is Planet X. And you got 2 of them here that are not Planet X at all. It is possible that there's a gas cloud, because you can see those gas clouds are still a possibility. And there are 2 of those in the game. So anyways, I can go on, but that's the stuff going on in my mind. And I am going to write down 0 dwarf from 9 to 14. Okay, so I'm glad I did that, even though it didn't help me. Okay, so now we move up to peanut butter theory time. And it's time for the bot to submit his theory, and he better submit his theory now. He submits a theory in Sector 7. So just 1 for some reason. Okay, and then we get to submit 1. To be honest, I don't know what else is anywhere else. I mean, I know what's not there. I just don't know what is there. I could guess that the comet's at 11, but I just think that that's a wild guess. And I mean, considering the way the bot's playing right now, I don't feel the pressure. So I'm going to just let it go. And so then these are going to move forward and they reveal, obviously this is just junk, but funny enough, it was an asteroid. Okay, so what the rules say I'm supposed to do is I have to do the peer review so the bot can function properly. So I'm doing a peer review of 7, and I'm telling it that 7 is an asteroid, and view results. And so I was correct, 7 is an asteroid, and then continue. Hold on. Oh, okay, I guess I'm supposed to know, okay, that's... So what that means is the bot also got asteroid, because he never gets it wrong. So we're going to go ahead and put the blue one out there to show that it's final. And he's going to get a chance to score points on this one, too, because I haven't advanced all the way, and so he'll get another chance to place a theory. It's just that if I always get to place mine first, I'm going to win. All right, now it is his turn. So let's do that. The bot surveys for dwarf planets 11 through 17, and he goes 2 spaces. So he's doing a survey for dwarf 11 through 17. And that's interesting. We know what some of his answer is. So now it's back to us. Oh, no, not yet. Let's move this up. So we are up first, and there's going to be a theory submission, which means he's going to place the other one here. I don't think he's going to do anything else. He shouldn't really know anything else, but I'm going to do another research. Yeah, I'm going to research again. All right, so we did dwarf planets. So we did A and F so far. All right, so let's keep riding the asteroid train. We should probably do gas clouds and asteroids. So let's do C. Every gas cloud is within 4 of an asteroid. That was C. No, we. All right, every gas within 4 of asteroid. Okay, so it could be this set of asteroids, it could be the other, but this is lining up with my theory that we might have a gas cloud, right? Because you got this big sector here, and you got 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So we have gas this direction, right? That's sort of what I'm doing. So we know any of these could be gas, and that's exactly lining up with our theory. Now, that could be true the other direction as well. So, I mean, it doesn't really help us very much. It just sort of vindicates a little bit of our thinking there. And then, yeah, I move up 1, and that's definitely not going to help me to get a theory on the board. So now we're going to take the bot turn. It's surveying for empty sectors, 13 to 2. So now it moves up 2. I never liked surveying for empty sectors. I think that's a really silly thing to do. But now it's his chance to submit a theory. And he submits a theory in sector 6. So I'm not even going to worry about it. We're just going to put his asteroid there. And yeah, we're going to have to do a reveal. So let's get the camera down. Downtown Julie Brown. Peer review. Sector 6. 4. Asteroid. Boom. All right. So there, it's done. Now you might be wondering, what if we're reviewing the bot stuff? So if we did sector 6, select object, there's a picture here of the bot. And so what that is so let's say the bot was first. Then it's going to reveal that it's an asteroid. So because we don't know what the bot selected, right? And so that's how you would find out. So anyways, all right, sorry for the shaky camera there. It is our turn. We did research, so we can't do that again. The survey action is as good as any. And I would like to eliminate some comets here. So I'm going to survey for some comets. And so you can see on the board, it goes from 13 to 3. And then from a paper perspective, the comets start at 13 here. And then there's one at 17, 2, and 3. So there's 4 of them, right? We eliminated these 2 comets here. We know those aren't it. And how did we know? There's no comet within 2 of an asteroid. So actually, it might be better to just search for some asteroids. My theory is that there's one comet at 11. And if I do a search from 13 all the way to 3, I'm going to get 1 or 2 comets. And that's not going to help me at all, because we already know there's 1 or 2. If I get 2, then I can at least cross this one out. But that's not very helpful. You know what? I think we need to find some asteroids here. And we looked for asteroids up to 14. So we know there's no asteroid at 13 and 14. So we're going to include that in our search so that way we get more cushion. And let's just go like halfway out and see if we can find an asteroid in here. And remember, if we can, there's no comets within 2 spaces of an asteroid. So, all right, so I'm going to do a survey for an asteroid. And sorry for the camera being off kilter there. Okay, we know 13 and 14 does not have an asteroid. So we're going to start in 13 and 14 so we get 2 sectors for free. Because we already know that that's going to be a 0. And I'm trying to reduce my time here. So if I'm going to reduce it to at least 3 time, I need at least 4 sectors. So I could do 13, 14, 15, and 16. And then that lets me, basically I'm scanning 2 sectors for asteroids. I mean, there's a high probability I'm going to get 0. But it does eliminate those 2 from the running. And I'm just looking at my comet map. 15 and 16 seems like very viable targets for comets because, or I'm sorry, for asteroids, because there's no comet within 2 spaces of asteroids. And it's just helping you to see what my mind is going through and processing. There's 2 comets over here. So chances are these asteroids are not it. So that's why I'm thinking that the asteroids are over here. Yes, it would rule out one of the comets and maybe even the other one. And then that leaves this one plus 2 more. I would still have 3 comet possibilities, even if the asteroids were here. So we know, for example, 13 and 14 don't have it. So if I can eliminate these 2 spaces, yeah, I find that helpful. So let's do that. It's going to cost me 3 time. So we're going to go up to 16. And look at that. 2 asteroids in sectors 13 through 16. Oh my gosh, it's as if I was the Swami himself. All right, so this is huge. We already know 13 and 14 don't have it, so that means 15 and 16 are absolutely the asteroid. And since there's no comet within 2 spaces of an asteroid, this comet's out and that comet's out. So we now have it narrowed down to 3 comets. And we got that. And then what else do we know about asteroids? Every gas cloud's within 4 of an asteroid. So that sort of supports the gas cloud run over here. And planet X is not within 2. So we know there's no X here and here. And there's no X there and there. We've now eliminated 12 of the 18 sectors for planet X. And by the way, since this is a asteroid, we know it's none of these either. So we'll do that. And if you ever need to, just pause the video and you can study it a bit. But that's what I know so far based on the clues given to me. And this research is going to become more and more valuable as we fill this in. All right, and let me not forget, but I'm moving up 3 time. 1, 2, 3. And then we move to the bot's turn. And I'm going to have 2 theories to place. So the bot's taking a turn. They're confirming, are they on 14? Yep. It surveys for dwarf planets, 14 to 2, and it's advancing 2. All right, so they're really getting aggressive for dwarf. And I believe they're finding them, to be quite honest, because the dwarf planets are over on that end of the board. So they're going to advance 2 on the time track. 1, 2. And then we get to a theory time. But we get to place our theories first. And we are for sure doing our 2 asteroids in 15 and 16. There's no need to do them face down. But I think we'll do it just because I haven't revealed those yet on the app. Don't want to confuse myself. And then I'm going to click on Bot Submit Theory. Oh, they submitted a theory in Sector 3. So they just put one in Sector 3, folks. So let's look at what they did. This is always what I like to do. Okay, so they surveyed asteroids, surveyed asteroids, survey asteroid. Surveyed dwarf planets 11 through 17 and then 14 to 2. All dwarf planets. then somehow or another they know what's in 3. They never even surveyed 3 once in the entire game. So how would they know? So what do we know about 3? So let's say that they did 14-2 and they got all the dwarf planets in there. So they did 14-2. Let's say they had 1, 2, 3, 4 dwarf. I'm guessing 3 is one of the dwarf planets. That's what I'm guessing. We know 1 asteroid is adjacent to a dwarf planet. So this theory, 5, 4, 3, 3's in that range, right? So that's quite an interesting thing that they figured out that 3 is a dwarf planet. I don't know how. They've literally not even surveyed 3 anywhere. Maybe well, hold on a second. Let's say that they got 0 dwarf planets in their surveys. They did 11 through 17, got 0 dwarf planets. Then they did 14-2 and got 0 dwarf planets. Or maybe they got 1. They would know, because they know that these 2 are asteroids. And starting at 11, how would they not know that the asteroids are here, though? I'm sorry, the dwarf planets, I mean. Yeah, I don't know how they figured that out, what 3 is. And if they guessed that 3 was a comet, that's even more insane. That's a little cheaty there. All right, it is our turn. We're going to research. And let's see, what did we do? We did comets and asteroids. We did asteroids and dwarf planets. We did gas clouds and asteroids. Let's do dwarf planets and comets. B. At least 1 dwarf planet is adjacent to a comet. Interesting. So 1 dwarf adjacent to comet. All right, so this lines up again. We know that there's no dwarf planets here. So this comet's looking less and less like a thing. But one of these, though, right? To our theory that the dwarf planets are here, 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 and here, right? That is lining up. Okay, so that cost us 1 time. And now it's their turn. They're going to research item B. And they're going to move 1 time. All right. And then we do Planetary X Conference 2. Planet X and comets. Planet X is not directly opposite a comet. So X is not opposite comet. So once we figure out where the comets are, that'll be more helpful. It is our turn, and we're going to do a survey. And we're going to survey for comets. And what I'm thinking is we're going to see if these 2 are it, right? So I'm going to just do whatever scan I can get that includes those 2. And if I get 1, then I know this one's it, right? So either way, I'm getting information. So I'm going to do 17 through 7. 17 through 7. It's only going to cost me 2 time. And I found 1 comet. So what's interesting about that is we don't know which of the 2 is a comet here, but we know that 11 for sure is a comet. Okay, and then it's one of these, 2 or 3. And remember, the bot already guessed 3, and they did not search for comets ever in the game. I'm guessing the bot figured out where the dwarf planet was, so 2 would be the comet. That would be my guess. if the bot's not cheating. With the way it handled this asteroid situation very poorly, this was really impressive that they figured that out. But with that said, that was still very helpful. And what do we know about comets and stuff around it? There's one dwarf planet adjacent to a comet. We already know that this comet's not it, so that's fine. And that supports the 3 being a dwarf planet and 2 being a comet theory. X is not directly opposite a comet, so let's do that. I always have a hard time seeing the opposite here. That means sector 2 is out. There's definitely not Mr. X there, but I think actually the comets are directly opposite of each other, which makes it an even dumber clue. Unless the other comet's in 3, then that would help out here, because we don't know what's in 12. That would actually be very helpful if the comet was in 3. But we don't know yet, so let's move on to their turn. Yes, they are in Sector 17. They're surveying for empty sectors from 17 through 5. Oh, you know what? They did do a survey for empty sectors, and I never wrote that down. That might have been how they figured out some stuff. 17 through 5. Interesting. And they go up 2. All right, so now we're up to 18. I'm going to do comets again because I want to know which one is truly the comet. And I'm just going to start at 3 and I'm going to skip 2, right? So we're going to do, we're going to survey comets. I'm going to start at sector 3 and go as high as I can, which looks like it's 7. It's going to cost me 3 time. And see, look, I got 0 comets. That was costly in time perspective, but we now know for sure that 3 is not the comet. It was exactly as we theorized. The comet is here, and that, my friends, is one of the dwarf planets, one of the 4. So now we go to submit theories, and they get to go first. So let's see what he does. He submits a theory in 2 and 17, so he's killing us right now. Killing us. So 1 goes in 2. That's supposed to be there. And 1 in 17. And these are supposed to be here. So I'm guessing that those are 2 more dwarf planets. He's probably nailing the dwarf planets right now. Now, one of the cardinal things in this game is if he already got 1 right, it's okay to piggyback if you don't know any, but we do. So, well, we know 2, and he figured that one out. Dang it. So the other one would be 11. So we're going to go ahead and guess 11 so we can get the bonus point there. And since we have to piggyback on him, we're going to go ahead and piggyback on the 2 because we know for sure what that one is. We're assuming the 3 really is the dwarf planet, but nothing we can do about that now. And then we're going to move all the theories forward like that. All right, so now it's their turn. He's surveying for empty sectors 3 through 9. Interesting. He's really going gung-ho about those empty sectors. And then he advances 2. So it's to us again, and there's going to be more theories coming out. So I'm going to go, we know that there's no dwarf planets, 9, 10, 11, etc. So I'm going to survey, or should I do a research? I think that 4 and 5 are possibly dwarf planets. So I'm going to do, I still have a target left as well. I could target something, but the thing is that I want to get one of the ones that he didn't get yet. So, the problem is he's going to get the place before me. What Well, what we could do is we could just join in on his stuff, even though he's getting the points for them. It'd probably be nice to get a research in, so let's do that. I have D and E left. So gas clouds and comets, gas clouds and dwarf planets. Let's do the gas clouds and comets because we know where the comets are. No gas cloud is directly opposite a comet. That is the most useless thing since the comets are directly opposite the comets. So, absolutely useless. But it only cost us one time. And now they get to take a turn. Surveying for gas clouds 4 through 10. Alright, so he did gas 4 through 10. I'm guessing that is where the gas clouds are, is right here. So he's probably going to get an edge on us there. And then now it's peanut butter theory time. Excuse me. Let's look at what he did. He put something here, he put something there. We don't know what exactly those are. We're guessing dwarf planets, right? We know that 2 is a comet. Dwarf planets have to be within a band of 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because we know these are asteroids. So if these are both dwarf planets, that means there's only one more space for a dwarf planet here. So this is for sure not a dwarf planet, this one. So what do we know about it? One asteroid is adjacent to a dwarf planet. That would be 17 here, right? Because there's our asteroid, and there's the dwarf planet. So that would satisfy that. One dwarf is adjacent to a comet. That would be the 3. And maybe that's how the AI got it, but the AI didn't do any of the research that we just did. They don't know what we know. So that's a little frustrating. But then what it means, though, is there's 2 more. So let's say that the dwarf planet is on 17 and 3. So we can guess those and at least get the points for it, right? And that might be the smart thing to do. I'm trying to be a little smarter and beat him to the punch. But what I'm saying, though, is that there's 2 more dwarf planets and there's 3 spots for them. So there's a real good chance we're going to get one of the 3 spots right. The problem is I truly don't know which one it would be. So I'm going to go ahead and take the conservative route and just go for the points. Because all he does is get 1 extra point on me when we do that. And then let's let him submit some more theories. 11 and 15. Yeah, he's going bonkers. Oh, he got the asteroids. That's these. 11. Oh, he got the other comet, and then he got an asteroid. He's pulling this stuff out of his ass. I don't know how he figured out that's a comet. I truly don't. But let's go ahead and move these down. Maybe him knowing where the empty sectors are really is that valuable, but I just don't see it. Okay, so we got some reveals going on. So we're going to start with 3 there. So we have to do a peer review of Sector 3. And then Mr. Roboto, Domo Arigato, Mr. Roboto. 3 is a dwarf planet. So we get this out. And of course we put dwarf planet as well. And then 15 and 16 we have as asteroids. And I put asteroid for him there. So let's peer review them. So he knows 15 asteroid. And then we have to peer review 16 asteroid. All right, so we got those correct. And now it's our turn, and we're sitting on 4 here. And I think what I want to do is I want to figure out how many dwarf planets are between 4 and 5. So I can just do 4 through forever, because we know that 17 is another dwarf planet. And so 4 and 5 are the only eligible ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, 4 is the only eligible one. So let's see how many dwarf planets are here. But the other thing is that a gas cloud, no gas opposite comet, no comet within 2 of an asteroid. Every gas is within 4 of an asteroid. So I'm wondering if there's gas cloud here and another one over here, which would mean one's gas, the other's an empty sector, one's gas, another's an empty sector. I'm not doing a good job of eliminating those yet. So, but you know what, let's find out where the dwarf planets are, because if I start at 4 and go this way and I get 0, then I know the 2 other dwarf planets are there. So let's do that. So I'm going to survey for dwarf planets, and I'm going to start at sector 4, and I'm going to go as far as it'll let me, 12. There's 1. Okay, so it has to be sector 4 because of the logic we just did. So sector 4 is for sure a dwarf planet, and then that means 5 and 8 are not, and we knew 5 and 8 weren't already because of the band of 6 rule. And that would also mean they're out over here. I'm just filling in my sheet properly. So so we know that this is 1, and then of course that means now we don't know which of those 2 is the dwarf planet, but one other problem for another day. So that moves us up 2 time, and now it's the computer's turn. The bot has successfully located planet X. Oh my god. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that means I have to solve for planet X or lay out 2 more theories. All right. Well, there's a couple of things we know that I didn't do. Any spot that's next to a dwarf planet is not planet X. So, for example, this is out. Sector 1 is not planet X, right? We know these 2 aren't planet X. So as far as what planet X is, it's either 10 or 12. The thing is I wouldn't know which one, 10 or 12. And then what's next to them, right? I mean, he surveyed for gas, he surveyed for empty spaces. That's great. I can tell you this is gas or empty, gas or empty. Wow, he actually got it right. Now, I'm more than 5 spaces behind him. I'll get a full 10 points if I get this right. Planet X. So if I guessed 10, my challenge then is this is probably a gas or an empty, but I don't know which of the 2 it is. If I guess 12, this is probably a gas or an empty because it's within 4 spaces of an asteroid, right? So there's probably a gas cloud and an empty in these 2 spaces, a gas cloud and an empty in these 2 spaces, and then, you know, either this is a true empty or planet X, this is a true empty or planet X. That's our situation, and it's eeny, meeny, miny, mo. So I think what I'm going to do is, I mean, if I laid out 2 more theories, which 2 would I lay? I mean, I can get a planet in for sure. That'll give me 2 points. That's a heck of a lot less than the 10 that he's just got. But I can get that for 2 points, and then I would actually get, actually it's 3 points, because I would actually get the theory correct. Now, I could try to guess at a gas planet, but again, folks, it's either this one or this one, or this one or this one, and over here is another empty sector, but I don't think there's a gas planet there. So one of these is truly empty, and one of these is truly planet, the dwarf planet. And that's the issue I have, is I don't know which one is which. I needed some more surveys, or that last research was worthless for us. So what did he do? He surveyed dwarf planets 11 through 17. And then he did 14 to 2 dwarf planets. So chances are he got... He only got 1 extra dwarf planet out of that. 17 through 5, he did empty sectors. 3 to 9, empty. And then he did 4 to 10, gas. Okay, so I'm guessing what he did then is he got 2 gas here. He got 2 gas. And this one's the empty sector. And this one's the gas. That one's the gas. If I gamble and put 2 gases on 8 and 10, that's 8 points for me. But if I know that he did that, then that means this is X. And this one is empty. And this one's a comet. So let's go for X. So I'm guessing a little bit. So sector 12. Sector 11 is a comet. And sector 13 is an empty sector. I love this game. All right, so how do I know? Oh, we gotta say bot finished. Oh, that's because he finished. So how do I know our score? End game and reveal objects. Okay, so maybe we got to do his score separate from ours. All right, so let's do his first. We know he got 10 points, right? I'm going to put his score on the right. And then ours is on the left. We were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spaces behind him. So we also got 10 points for getting it right. And I'm telling you folks, it was process of elimination. I'm looking at the actions that he did, and that's how I figured out that these two were the gas. And actually, let's check. Was I right? 8 and 10 are gas. Let's look. Oh, guys, totally wrong. 8's an empty sector. 10 is a gas cloud. 14 was a gas cloud, which was the other theory I had. So I don't know how he figured it out, but I mean, that's what helped me to narrow it down, even though that's not what it turned out to be. So I was wrong, and I still got it right. I was using his little logic to help me to figure out that it had to be 12 and not these. Okay, so with that said, we're tied so far. Now, I'm just going to verify everything else. Yes, 2 was a comet. He got it first. And then 17 was a dwarf. He got it first. Yep, and then 11 was a comet, and we got that first. Okay, so for the dwarf planets, he got 6 points. And we got 4 points. Oh, yeah, we only got 2 of them right. No, I'm sorry. He only got 4 points as well. So we're still tied, 4-4. All right, and then we're moving on to gas clouds. Neither of us guessed gas clouds, so 0-0. Then for comets, we both got 6-6, so we're tied again. Oh my gosh, we're just tied across the board here. Then for asteroids, I have 8. He has 6. He only got 3 of them. I got 4. And then for the first timers, he got 1, 2, 3, 4 for first bonus. And I got 1, 2, 3, 4. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's only 8 total out there. So hold on a second. He got 3. He got 3. And I got 5. So I got him. I got the bot, baby. In expert mode. Genius. First try. Although he solved Planet X a hell of a lot quicker than I probably would have. 10, 14, 20, 26, 29 for him. And then 10, 14, 20, 28, 33. So there you go. Video evidence, 33 to 29, defeat the bot, genius mode, expert, drop the mic, or drop the pen. I honestly don't know how he figured it out, given the clues that he did. That seemed Cheaty McCheaterson to the max. If the gas cloud thing that I factored in would have, like I ended up getting one of the gas clouds right, but and yes, I did guess Planet X correctly. I mean, I get all that. I just, I don't know. And if I would have submitted to 2 gas clouds, I would have gotten that wrong. So I would not have won. And then what's the other one? We weren't sure about sectors 18 and 1. One of them's a dwarf planet. 18's empty. 1 was the dwarf planet. So if I would have, that would have been a 50-50 guess. So we're going to submit some solo game results because I guess they wanted that to help. So I got a 33 and the bot got 29. All right, so I don't know what good that did, but it's now official with video results to back it up. Okay, would I recommend buying this for solitaire play? That was fun. The bot was very challenging, to be quite honest. That first series of play, I thought the bot was too weak. You probably heard me. Like, he should have gotten the asteroids quicker than us. But there's no way he should have figured out X and figured out that 2 of those were dwarf planets. I really think that the AI just flat out just gives you so many turns and then they just start getting them right. And just, you know, doing certain things to help you along. I really highly suspect that the AI could have figured it out that quickly. But you know what, when you sit down and you look at some of these AI code that people come up with on how to solve problems like this, that looking for empty sectors thing might actually be the most efficient thing you can do, even though that's the most counterintuitive. I don't know. Because when you look for empty sectors, you're not scoring points with theories, right? Because knowing where the empty sectors are don't help you. I mean, I guess it does help you to know where other stuff isn't. I don't know. I mean, I guess it's helpful. There's 6 empty sectors in this game, though. And even if you survey like a big swath of stuff, you're going to get a lot of empty sectors coming back. And they can be anywhere. I mean, what am I whining about? I still beat it. I guess I just feel lucky. More than good. But you know what? I am a little bit good because I was able to use some pretty dang good deduction. And I was able to get some stuff out quicker than him. And that was the key to this. Didn't expect him to get Planet X that quick, though. Holy buckets. All right, well, there you go. Thank you for watching again. And I'm going to have to give this game back. It's not mine. So, going to definitely be doing that soon. And then, you know, I'll have tears. I may have to buy it. I don't know. I'm good friends with this person, so I'll probably get to play it again, I guess. We definitely enjoy it as a family. I think there's something to be said when you're going up against other people. But this game, here's my review of it. It's a lot like tennis. Tennis is an absolute blast if you're playing against somebody who's equally matched. But if you're playing against someone who's not equally matched, tennis is the worst game in the world. Because one of the two of you is either standing there and yawning or you're chasing after the ball all the time. And that is my summary of Planet X. If you're playing against people who just don't get it, then you're not going to have fun. So this bot, I think, is extremely challenging. I don't know if they changed the difficulty level because I chose to go in expert mode with Genius, you know. So does that mean that they made the bot, like, ratcheted it up? I don't know. That's the one thing I'm curious about. Like, so if we played it on basic mode, you know, I get 12 clues to jumpstart the game. You know, does the bot slow down for me? Because that's where I'm at in terms of game logic. I don't know if they have like a throttle built in for that. I can't tell you. But the Genius Mode Expert was definitely a challenge. I mean, I didn't beat it by a lot, and I had to really pull a rabbit out of my hat to get Planet X at the end. So anyways, thank you for watching, and as always, stay awesome and stay healthy and safe.